Subscribe to our channel by clicking the subscribe button. Click the bell button and enjoy the latest uploads.
Your forecast for this current set of numbers was 6.2%. Almost got there, but I guess more importantly, I want to ask you, why didn't you see the recovery as robust as most others in the street had their forecasts for?
Yeah, absolutely. So the 6.3% number is not any surprise to our 6.2 forecast, and as also the market was somewhere at a similar level. Now, the reason we were not too worried, even when we saw a 5.7% print in the previous quarter's print, we were very clearly in the camp that believed that this was not a structural slowdown. The major growth drivers in the economy are still in place, and this was some kind of a disruption, though a slightly long patch of disruption due to some one-off events such as the demonetization and after that the GST implementation during the summer. So our sense is that still the high-frequency indicators remain a mixed bag. Quite a few indicators are showing signs of continued uptick, and we should see some more recovery going ahead in the coming 1-2 quarters.
What does it do with inflation, though? I mean, I would expect the output gap continues to close here. Why aren't we seeing that come through as far as inflation is concerned?
Well, inflation, our sense is that it's broadly in check. In case of India, you need to understand that a large part of the CPI basket is actually food prices. That shows a lot of volatility from time to time, and that leads to a lot of volatility to the overall CPI number as well. But at the moment, that looks broadly in check. The monsoon season rainfall is a very important ingredient in India's food inflation going ahead, and in that particular context, I must say, though there was some erraticness in overall monsoon in the current season, the overall quantum of rainfall was 95%. So though it's not great for the summer crop, for the winter crop is still pretty decent. So we think overall the food inflation bucket remains in check. Oil definitely is a concern at the moment, but you need to again see the government didn't really slash domestic oil prices that much when international oil prices were falling. So as such, even if international oil prices go up or stay here, we have a bit of buffer that the government can use at this juncture, and we don't really expect inflation to go up dramatically from this point onwards. Though the trajectory will be moving higher, that's known, but incrementally we are getting a sense that it's remaining well under control. Also, the other concern that we had been having 6 months back, that GST could be inflationary, that's also not looking like the case.
What's the outlook for the RBI then with next week? I mean, does this number and everything you mentioned change their mind and perhaps they cut, or do you think they'll stay?
I think they maintain some kind of a cautious bias, and given that kind of a backdrop, we think this policy they remain on hold. But our sense is that the tone of the commentary remains somewhat balanced, and RBI's policy going ahead remain absolutely data dependent. So if there is room, they might act in either direction. In this particular policy, we think the baseline scenario is that of a hold with a balanced commentary.
Siddhartha, 2017 has been a story of structural reform in India. A lot of these one-offs, as you mentioned. In your research, do you think that's managed to increase the potential growth capacity of the economy? Has that moved the needle?
Well, absolutely, over a period of time, and for that you need to give a little more time. It's not necessarily we get to see the benefit in, say, 2018 itself. You possibly need to give a few more years. But there's a very clear directional move towards greater formalization of this particular economy. And that's a very big move in terms of curbing corruption, etc., over a period of time. And also the focus of reforms in India at the moment is debottlenecking the supply side issues, like better coal production, better power generation, structured urbanization. All these things over a period of time is bound to show better potential growth.